Hey, what's up guys, it's Mike, and today we're gonna be talking about that one hormone that's literally making you fat and killing your sex drive. And this one hormone is also responsible for a few other things. Sexual libido, your sex drive, erectile dysfunction or your ability to have an erection, muscle mass, strength, your bone density, your energy, motivation, self-esteem and confidence, and also your ability to focus. You guys have any idea what this hormone is? Take a wild guess. If you guessed testosterone, you are correct. Testosterone is what we're gonna be talking about today, because testosterone is basically what makes us men. Men have testosterone like women have estrogen. If you don't have testosterone, or if your testosterone is low, it is literally making you fat and it's gonna destroy your sex drive. Take a look at these, okay? This is how you can tell if your testosterone is low. If you take a look at this, take a look at the symptoms here. If you have current low sex drive now, and you feel like, you know, let's say you just don't feel like having sex sometimes, or you're maybe telling yourself, I'm not in the mood or I'm tired, but a lot of these things are symptoms. And if you really look deep, if you're experiencing those things, there is a good chance that your testosterone is low. Same thing with erectile dysfunction. So if you're not in the mood, a lot of times you're not gonna have an erection. And think about back in your teenager days to whenever you see an attractive girl or whenever the wind blows, it's like, ugh, you know, you're up and you're ready to go. But if you have low T, it's the total opposite. It's gonna take a lot more than wind blowing, a lot of hot women walking around for you to get any type of reaction. So that's a huge sign that maybe your testosterone is low. Muscle mass. Are you working out hard, you're eating good, but you're still not able to put on the size, you're still not able to gain the muscle that you want. So that's also another sign. Low in strength. Bone density. Is your bones brittle? Do you feel like your bones are weak or they're brittle? Do you feel like you have a lot of low energy or you're just not motivated to do things? Self-esteem, confidence, and focus all kind of breaks down into somebody feeling, if you are feeling depressed, then all of these things are low, and that's a huge sign of low testosterone. So this is a really big issue among men, and this used to just be, you know, something that happens in older men in their 40s and their 50s and so forth. But nowadays, low testosterone is actually going on in men as young as their 20s. This is a huge deal, and I have a lot of people that we're training, that we're working on, and they are experiencing these things. And it took us a little while to be able to figure these things out to where we realized it was their testosterone that was causing them not to see results. But luckily though, we have a solution. All right, so that's gonna bring us to the book of the month. Audible book of the month is by Adam Bornstein and John Romanello. Okay, the book is called Man 2.0, Engineering the Alpha, a real-world guide to an unreal life. Build more muscle, burn more fat, have more sex. John's a personal friend of mine. He actually came by here a little while ago. We shot a couple videos and we really talked about this testosterone subject, and John is a genius. He's got a lot of great info. And so I'm really glad to be able to share his book with you guys. And just so you know, if you want to go ahead and get your book for free, go to audible.com/Mike and your first audiobook will be free. Okay, so I definitely recommend checking it out. But Engineering the Alpha talks a lot about really how to be a man, how to be an alpha. Before you jump too far and go, oh, alpha, because you know, we all really have like the typical viewpoints, you know, of an alpha guy. You know, it's like leader of the pack. They could be like, how they said in the book, like the quarterback of a football team who gets all the women, who's this hot looking stud, and you know, who treats the nerds like crap, you know, that type of guy. Well, that's not really what he talks about in the alpha. The alpha, in the short explanation, is really just being the best that you can be. Being the best man that you can be. Somebody that is strong, that is successful, that's happy. You know, somebody that has confidence, you know. So things like that. And the book also talks a lot about how come people are not masculine as they used to be, you know, the men nowadays versus before. And all of that stuff circles around hormones, and particularly testosterone. So there's a lot of hormones that they talk about in the book, but when it comes to a man and his masculinity and his traits of being a man, which is a lot of these things here, it all boils down to testosterone. So typically men's testosterone starts to go down after the age of 30. And research has found that they decrease at about 1% per year. So you imagine when you're 30 years old, let's say you're decreasing at 1%. So that means by the time you're 40, you're 10% lower in testosterone. So by the time you're 50 years old, you're 20% lower in testosterone. But I want you to think about it though. If being in your 20s is at 100% testosterone and being in your 50s is 80% testosterone, what does the effect have on your body? Does that mean you're gonna not be able to get an erection? Does that mean you're not gonna be able to hold any muscle? Does that mean your bones are so brittle they're gonna break? Hell no. Just means it decreased slightly, okay? But 80% still means you got a good amount of testosterone. But then if you look around and you talk to men a lot older, what do you always hear? Because I know for myself, I'm always hearing guys that are always that are a little older, you know, in their 40s and up. They're always talking about, oh, well, you know, I'm a little older, so my testosterone's a little low, and they just keep blaming everything on age. But there's a lot of research that shows that signs of low testosterone is not due to aging. Because like I said, if that was the case, you'd have 80% of your testosterone at the age of 50. That means 70 at the age of 60, and when you're 70 years old, you have 60% of testosterone than you did, you know, when you're a teenager. And that's slim to none. So the reason actually is they found that it's due to inactivity and bad eating habits. Those two things is why tons of men nowadays have low testosterone. And again, if you have low testosterone, you're gonna have a very, very hard time burning any type of fat. The reason why is because testosterone is what makes up your muscle mass and your strength. Testosterone is what's gonna be able to allow you to have your metabolism, because muscle burns calories, muscle burns fat. But if your testosterone is low, then you're losing muscle mass. And if you're losing muscle mass, say goodbye to your ability to burn calories. Say goodbye to your ability to get rid of your belly fat. So you gotta be able to have testosterone to be able to look the way you wanna look, to be able to have the body and be able to feel and live the life that you wanna live. Especially the second part, when it comes to your sex drive. Because if you don't have a sex drive, I mean, it's over, man. Good, game over, you know? So if you're a man, you definitely want to be able to have a choice. You want to be able to have a high sex drive, no matter if you have a girlfriend, wife, or if you're doing one night stands, it doesn't matter. The fact is though, you want to be able to have a choice. And if you want to go and have sex with somebody, you don't want your desire or your ability to have an erection or not have an erection be an obstacle for you. So having testosterone is super important. I'm pretty sure you know that by now. So now let's branch into it. So what do you need to do to increase your testosterone? Here are a few things that you can do naturally that he talks about in the book, and he gives a lot of different remedies, but we're gonna go through them briefly now. So what to do? Okay, so first thing you wanna do is actually eat healthy fats. So a lot of guys don't eat fats because they're on these low fat diets and they're like, I don't want to eat fat, I'm gonna go ahead and get fat. But what guys don't realize though is testosterone is made through cholesterol, and cholesterol comes from fat. Steak, saturated fat, all of that is fat and all of that is cholesterol. That's the building blocks of testosterone. So if you're not eating fat, you're literally not giving your body the building blocks that it needs to boost up its testosterone. Have more sex. Simple enough. The more sex you have, the higher testosterone will be. So that means you want to make sure that you take advantage of all the times that you can, okay? Not saying for you to go ahead and be like a sex machine all day long and just skip work and screw it, I'm gonna go home and just make babies all day long. Not saying that, but you definitely want to be able to have more, because that's what's gonna boost up your testosterone. You know the fact, you know the line, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, if you don't have sex, just say goodbye to it in the future also. There's a lot of older men that aren't getting laid, they're not getting any action. I mean, forget older, there's a lot of young men right nowadays that aren't getting any action. And not only are their testosterone crashing, but their piece is not getting any work either, and that's, say goodbye to that, okay? One of the things when it comes to this that they talk about in the book is lay off the porn. Really, okay? Here's a reason why. When you watch porn, it stimulates your dopamine. Dopamine is basically what makes you feel good, or what makes you happy. So you watch it, you're like, yeah, I'm happy. But then it starts to make everything else boring, because you're so used to this crazy stuff that you watch online, to the point to where if you have regular sex, you're not aroused, you're not turned on. And when that happens, you can't enjoy sex and you can't get an erection. And over time, you're gonna have to start doing all these funky stuff. I mean, that's why people have all these crazy fetishes, man. Starts off with porn, it ends up with, you with a ball in your mouth and somebody cracking a whip on your butt. So, just saying, all right? Have more sex, lay off the porn. Do compound, you already know this one, do compound lifts, especially in your legs. This is a huge one because legs is your largest muscle group. And when you stimulate your larger muscle groups, it stimulates your testosterone, it boosts it up, okay? So you wanna make sure that you're doing compound lifts, especially for your legs. Deadlifts and squats, make sure you do your lifts, like you can do pull-ups, you can do bench press. You just wanna make sure you're hitting your large muscle groups, but especially your legs. Eat less sugar. What they talk about in the book is sugar gets you an insulin spike. And it makes, if you, a lot of times, if you're eating a lot of cupcakes or a lot of sweet things that have a lot of sugar, including sodas and even bread and all this stuff, all of that things, when you eat too much of it, it causes an insulin spike. So basically over time, anytime when your insulin is high, your testosterone is low. So you wanna go ahead and lay off the sugar. And what they talk about in the book, what Roman says is you want to go ahead and eat carbs, or basically sugar, after your workout and also right before bedtime. So this way it helps you fall asleep and actually stimulate your growth hormone and your testosterone throughout the night. You do that, up your fats as the energy. Usually people eat sugar as energy, but if you eat fat as the energy, you have your protein always as default, protein for your muscles, fats for the energy, and sugar, according to the book, only after you work out and before your bedtime. Getting more sleep. Guys that get less than 5 hours of sleep over a course of 7 days actually has a decrease in their testosterone levels equivalent to somebody who is 15 years older than them. Okay, so it's really that quick. Your testosterone can go up and down, up and down. So even if your testosterone is high right now, if you go through some partying or if you go through some bad eating habits, not eating habits, if you go through some bad sleeping habits, you know, if you're studying for some tests or you're just staying up late, doing whatever, watching porn, you need to go get that sleep because that's also gonna be lowering your testosterone, okay? So they say recommended, get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep. I usually tell people, you know, get at least about 7 to 8 hours of sleep is my recommendation. But either way, get more sleep because that's gonna boost your testosterone. Taking zinc and vitamin D. Zinc and both vitamin D are great for your testosterone. They come in normal multivitamins, or if you want, you can just get it separately. Super cheap, available literally everywhere, but great for your testosterone. All right, so the last thing is BCAAs, okay? BCAAs, great for keeping your muscles, okay? It's basically the amino acids for protein. Okay, so basically it helps you maintain your muscle. The more muscle you have, the higher your testosterone is. Okay, oh, one last one as a bonus. Lose your belly fat. So, kind of becomes like a catch-22 because low test makes you fat, but then you have to lose your belly fat in order to have higher tests. But just kind of keep that in mind. It's gonna be tough, I'll be honest with you. When your testosterone is low, it's gonna be a lot tougher to lose your belly fat, okay? So if you can't attack this one, just kind of keep this in the back of your mind. Your goal is to lose your belly fat, not just for vanity purposes now, but to also keep you functionally and keep you healthy, okay? Because you can correlate having belly fat directly with your sex drive, okay? So if you don't care about, you know, having six-pack abs or looking super shredded, you do care about your ability to have sex, or at least have the desire to have sex, okay? So that's just one other reason why you gotta get rid of that belly fat, okay? Your belly fat is literally boosting up your estrogen levels in your body. Estrogens is what would make women women. The higher, more fat you have, the higher estrogen. The higher estrogen you have, the lower testosterone you have. Super important, okay? So, all in all, guys, remember, testosterone is what makes men men. And in order for you to be able to have the confidence, have the sexual libido, be able for you to do the things you want, have the energy, not be depressed, you know, you gotta keep your testosterone high. I definitely recommend checking out that book, Man 2.0, Engineering the Alpha. Okay, and go to audible.com/Mike, get your first Audible book for free. Definitely check it out. The book also comes with a PDF that has workouts and also a meal plan that you can follow. It's awesome, it's free, it comes right with the book. So what you do is when you go to audible.com/Mike, after you sign up and stuff, you can go and type in Engineering the Alpha, and then when you find the book, on the bottom, there's gonna be a place that says to download the PDF. Okay, click on that and download it, so this way it's gonna give you all the info you need. The book references a lot about the PDF and about the workouts in there, so follow those workouts, the eating plan, and get those results, boost up your tests, okay? Hope you guys like this video, guys, and don't forget, testosterone is super important. It's what makes us men, it's what builds us the muscles, it's what ultimately makes all men happy. The higher tests that you have, the more happiness you're gonna have, the more fulfilling life you're gonna have, okay? So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time. Peace.